is Ruth Harris, and I'm one of the owners of DragonflyHealings.net and also Psych Inc. Today we're going to do a short video just to teach you a little about how to increase your intuition and how to use your intuition to make major decisions in your life, how to prepare for that. So let's begin by just talking about a few things about intuition in the mind. Intuition is a combination of things. One is sometimes it's called patterning. At this end of the spectrum, we have when our mind actually patterns things together conceptually from past experiences. An example of this is when a nurse goes into a patient's room and they know something's wrong, but they can't quite put their finger on it because it comes from a lot of little cues that they put together. And it's actually in the literature and in most major hospitals. Reasons to call the doctor. You just think something's wrong. And that's called patterning. We do this a lot when we just see someone. The first impression can be patterned. We know certain expressions mean certain things, and we can't quite put our finger on it, but it becomes from a lifetime of observing. And patterning is something the mind does conceptually rather rapidly. It's still called intuition because it's beyond our knowing. It's not where we sit down and analyze. It happens instantly. That's kind of a feeling we have. At the other end of the spectrum, we have total psychic. Those instances are when a salesman who travels for a living, flies every single week out to Detroit, is used to airplanes, even knows the stewardess, enjoys the flight, goes up to the counter and says, "I'm not getting on this flight, I can't tell you why," and doesn't, and something happens to the flight. Total psychic, not patterned, not from past experience. Our gut feeling or intuition is usually somewhere in between. And today I'll give you a couple techniques to be able to develop that and trust it a little more. We can never feather out exactly what it is and how it's working, except if it's totally over here on psychic, or it's absolutely something that we kind of recognize and say, I know I've seen this before, but I don't know where. And as I said, it's impossible to exactly tell how much is in between, but let's look at some techniques of how we can increase this. As we increase it and develop our intuition, we go more and more over to the psychic. We all have intuition, all of us. We were born with it. You use it every day. Most of us don't trust it very much. How many times have you said in your life, I knew I should have not done that, or I knew I should have done that, I just had a feeling. We hold intuition somewhere in our body. Usually our stomach, sometimes our neck, sometimes the hair stands up on the back of our neck. We have all kinds of physical feelings and intuition. Recognize them. Journal. One of the techniques to increase your intuition is to journal. Write down when you didn't follow it or when you did follow it. Write it down. Figure out where the cues are in your body, and you'll begin to trust them. You know, when you go to buy a house or a car or make a decision on a relationship, we don't trust it then because those are major decisions and they have a huge impact on our life. So we'll tend not to use our intuition because we haven't learned to trust it. If you journal, find out where in your body it is, practice some techniques I'm going to give you, it'll increase and you'll begin to trust it. And what I always said, it'll make a magical life because you'll trust your inner instead of your outer. Now, in this society, we've learned to trust the data. You know, the old Franklin way of making a decision, over here is the cons, over here is the pros, and we kind of look at it. I'm not saying don't do that. Don't get the information. By all means, get the information. Then meditate. Think for a second. Most people don't feel they have time to reflect a little bit and go inward, but that takes a little practice. We all have the same 24 hours, and I'm actually not talking about 2 hours worth of meditation, although that's very good for you. That's not what we're doing today. Practice your intuition every single day. I'll give you a quick stress management. I got this from a group called Lightstorm from British Columbia, who said, clear your mind, reset it, stare at your thumb, just stare at it 12 seconds. That's all it takes, 12 seconds. It's kind of like rebooting a computer. When you're going round and round in your head, can't stop, can't think, what do I do, what do I do? And you get yourself so uptight, you don't have access to your intuition. So stare at your thumb, 12 seconds. Clear your mind, reboot it. Just concentrate on that thumbnail or on your thumb. If a thought comes in, thank your mind for sharing. Be back at your thumb. 12 seconds. It's harder than you think. Practice it. So when you start to get uptight, you've got a quick stress management tool to reboot your mind and start thinking about your body. This makes you detached, and you can start questioning the circumstances and see how you feel. Do a few techniques every single day. An example, when I go into a parking lot at a major retail store, I don't ask where to park. I say, where should I turn, which lane? And I practice that intuitive. I get better and better at it. I very seldom have to walk far to the store. That's one way. You can do it a lot of ways. Think of a way that's comfortable with you. How many emails are going to be downloaded? Some of that's patterning because you get so many emails a day. Some of it's psychic. Just keep practicing. If you would like more techniques on how this works and a few other things and what blocks it, what stops it, just some written information, drop me an email. I don't share the emails with anyone. It's just for your use. Go to info@dragonflyhealings.net. Drop me an email. I'll send out the information. And thank you for your attention. Have a magical, magical life.